We're back now with singer-songwriter Joshua Radin. And guys, if you've ever wanted to ask a question on Backstage Live, now is the time to enter that question into the chat room. Just go to cbsnews.com/backstage live. Chat with Rick. He's here hanging out to take your questions. He'll tell me. We'll ask Joshua. I mean, the guy, he's here. He's ready to answer all your questions. He wants to know what you want to know. Now, Joshua, thank you so much for being here. You're gonna be performing here today on the early show coming up soon. Now, 75 times, more than 75 times, your music has been featured on TV or film or commercials. That's an astonishing number. Yes, that's what I read. That's what I read. Now, are you ever like just watching TV, flipping through, and you're like, oh, there's my song. Oh, here's my song. There's my song.
Not really. I don't watch too much television, but the other day I was on a plane, and it was an overnight flight, and I got woken up on the speakers to one of my songs. Yeah, actually one of the songs I'm playing here today on the show. And I looked around at my band, and we were like, wait, this sounds familiar. Oh, yeah. And you're just waking up, in another time zone. And it's like, that's surreal.
Did you guys just bust into performance there? Or?
No, it was more like...
Now, listening to your music, though, it's like... I was on your website last night, and was just playing through all the songs. Yeah, that was me. Now, come on. And you have those songs that it's like, I know this song, and then the next one you're like, I know this song too, and you have those songs that are so familiar, and it's like you've heard them and you like them. There's such a familiarity with your music, and I would think that's a good thing, right?
It's probably because of all those times it's been on in films or TV shows, or sometimes it just seeps into people's subconscious, and then they realize, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So a lot of times I meet people and I'm like, they're like, what do you do? And I'll say, I play music. And what kind? I'm like, do you have your iPod on you? And I'll look through them, like, yeah, there I am.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
okay.
I don't know who you are, but you're in my iPod.
Yeah, right. What were you gonna say, Rick?
Well, before you move away from the songs in movies, Dawn in the chat room wants to know which movies can she?
Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Dawn.
Can she catch your music
a lot
in?
of movies. I don't know.
One or
I
two.
don't know. That's what Google's for.
Yeah, just.
All right, I'm going to Google it. You guys go on with the interview.
You figure that out.
Don't you want to know about something personal, Dawn?
Well, that's my next question. That's my next question. Dawn, we'll get back to you. Now, here's what I want to know, Joshua. You didn't play music until you were out of college, or after college.
Not long out of college.
That is honestly incredible. Like, tell us that story. How is that possible?
Well, I'd probably be better now if I started earlier.
I'd say you're doing all right.
I didn't really plan on that. I just, I got a late start. I like trying new things all the time, and this was just like, this is the last thing I've tried, and it thankfully worked out. There's people like Dawn, and people up at, what time is it?
8, maybe?
8 in the
morning.
morning.
My rubber band watch.
You're right, 8 in the morning or something. If you're up and you're watching this, thank you.
Yeah.
It's because of you that I have a career. Thanks.
Because you were actually studying screenwriting before, right?
Well, I didn't study it. I studied painting and drawing in college, actually, and then I was a children's art teacher after graduating. And then I got into writing screenplays. Mm-hmm. I never studied it. I never really read any screenplays. I just loved film, and I figured, why not try it?
Right.
So I did that for like 6 years. And then I just picked up a guitar like when I was turning 30.
That's incredible.
And I just kind of loved it, it just kind of fit. And
so you never had classes or lessons?
No, I never played anything growing up. Or I love to sing in the car, And
yeah, well, who doesn't?
You're right in the shower.
Yeah, right.
I was just a big music fan. I think you just, maybe it just seeped in.
And so,
I don't know.
So you picked up the guitar, and you were soon playing Beatles songs and Bob Dylan songs. I think I read.
I learned a few chords. My favorite songs, were written by Dylan and the Beatles and Neil Young and Petty and Springsteen. That just classic stuff.
Yeah.
And I was shocked to learn that a lot of those songs you could learn like 3 chords on the guitar and actually play them.
Right.
So then I was like, well, if I only need a few chords, I'll just start writing my own lyrics.
Yeah. So what you're saying is there's still hope that I can learn how to play the guitar.
Yeah, man. You're young. You're in your 20s. Yeah. I didn't start till I was 30.
That's incredible. It's an amazing. That's just nuts. Now I know when you released your first couple songs, I read that people were like emailing you like, "Hey, we're gonna get some more songs, man," and you were like, "I don't have any more."
Yeah, it was the first song I wrote. Ended up on a TV show about 3 weeks after I wrote it, and yeah, well, I knew all these people in like film and TV, you know, from being a screenwriter, and no one knew I was a musician because I wasn't. And then I wrote one song. I played it for a friend of mine. He had a TV show. He was like, maybe the producer will like it. I recorded it in a bedroom, and they were like, 3 weeks later, they're like, can we use this song? It's perfect for this scene. And then it ended up shutting down the NBC website where people were asking, like, where could I
get that song?
Yeah, in the chat rooms and stuff, and that's what they told me. And that I had to get like a MySpace page.
Yeah.
This was when MySpace was still relevant.
Cool. Right.
And, you know, it was crazy. People would be emailing me all day, like, where can we get your record? And I'm like, I don't have a record. I've written one song.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I guess I could send you some covers that I haven't recorded.
Yeah, right.
You know, I don't know.
So, I mean, was it that moment when you were like, maybe I should think
Yeah.
about doing this as a
I mean,
career?
I knew I was going to do it. Like, the first time I picked up the guitar, I was like, it felt like home, as cheesy as that sounds. You know, it's like, this just is, I'll never stop doing this. And then, yeah, like a year later, all of a sudden I had a career as a musician, which was shocking and humbling. And here we are.
Yeah, now you're doing
Waking up
Backstage
at
Live
8 in the
on the
morning
early show
in the
here.
bowels of CDs.
Yeah, right. Now, that brings us to now it's your third album, The Rock and the Tide, debuted number 5 on iTunes. That's awesome. So tell us about this album. What's it all about?
Well, I don't know if I could. It's sort of an album about starting over.
Okay.
In a sense, because you know my first 2 records are very lo-fi, very mellow, very intimate, and I wanted something a little different on this one, so it's a little more rockin'.
It's a little bit more up-tempo, would you say?
It is. I recorded it live with a full band in London earlier this year. I don't know. I'd never recorded live before, which was so cool.
Yeah.
It was so much more fun and inspiring. And I don't know. It's all the songs are about my life. They're just honest, like journal entries.
Yeah. And it's definitely an interesting life. That story about not picking up a guitar until you're 30 years old. I mean, that's incredible. We have a question from the chat room.
Do you use social media to promote your music and appearances? Facebook, Twitter?
Yes.
You're into that? Okay.
Next question.
Next question.
Here's what
Yes, we live in 2010.
what musician doesn't do that?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to
think Bob Dylan has a MySpace
joshuaradin.com, you'll get all the link. All the links are there. Yeah.
Now, I was there last night, and I saw you performed
You were
Terminal
at a show last
5.
night?
No, I just saw that you performed. I live actually really close to Terminal 5, but I saw that you performed last night.
Yeah,
and then
the night before.
And you're going to Philly, I think, right?
I play in Philadelphia tonight at the Electric Factory.
Okay. Now, so what's your favorite city to go and play a show?
Oh, New York.
Oh, okay.
I live here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hometown crowd. It's nothing like it.
But you're originally from Ohio, right? Cleveland.
Yeah, but I wasn't a musician when I was growing up. So
Yeah.
when I go back, it's like I go back to see my parents and my sister, and it's like, you know, I'll play a show on tour in Cleveland, and it's there's no one I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All my friends left Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, moved on to other cities. I have a few family members that come to the show, and then you know, it's just fans that I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is strange. So it doesn't really feel like my hometown show. New York always feels like my hometown show because I've lived here for years.
Yeah. Now, it's just almost like you're living like a just completely different life. Like when you picked up that guitar, it was like your life changed, basically.
Yeah, it did. And but of course, the second I started writing screenplays from being an art teacher, my life totally changed.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, I think that's how you stay young. You know, try new things. I think a lot of people find themselves on a track. Like I went to school for this, so that means I've got to do this for my whole life. Right. And I just think that's sad. You know, I mean, I understand why people do it. You get a mortgage and you get kids and you can't just quit your job. And I'm sympathetic to it, but I think that I'm just very fortunate to be able to do what I love to do for a living. You know, not many people get that luxury.
Yeah.
So, Josh, let me ask you, how would you describe, in your experience?
Is this from you or someone?
It's from me.
Okay.
That spark that led you to, oh, maybe I should try something. Maybe I'll write How do I get started writing screenplays? And then going from there to a new spark.
I think it's just the way my personality works. I get really bored really easily. and I just want to move on to something new, like a new challenge. And it's just, there's nothing like that, like thinking I could never do this in a million years, and then actually trying it and finding out that you can do it, and that you keep getting better and better the more you do it. And so who knows, maybe this will be my last record. Maybe I'll do another one. Maybe I'll
be a professional wrestler next or something.
I don't have to build for that. I'd be one of those jockeys that got in the fight.
I saw that this morning. Yeah, did you see that? Those two that was intense.
That's hilarious.
The eyes and mean faces on those guys was
I
just
love
it was
that. It
incredible.
just says short fuse everywhere on like the papers and like.
No, it's interesting because people always say you're able to learn new things when you're a kid and you're young and easier because your brain is different. I don't really know the science behind it, but to be able to just learn something completely different at age 30, like something that you've never done before, that's just totally amazing. Are people constantly
I'm still
saying
learning? It's not like I'm a master of anything. I've always considered myself more of like a jack of all trades. Like I just love trying new things and kind of working it out. And you never really get to if you do it that way, it's sort of really difficult to get to the point where you're like, I've mastered this thing. Yeah. Even when I was a kid, I remember like video games, like in 6th grade or something. And
let's talk about some of your favorites. What were some of your favorite games?
Well, I'm old school, like when Nintendo came out, like the first like Super Mario Brothers, and
awesome game.
or like
RC Pro-Am.
I always actually was always just a video hockey
Blades
fan.
of Steel.
Blades of Steel was awesome. Sega hockey, like in '95. Remember in that movie Swingers with Favreau and Vince Vaughn?
Right.
That scene where they're playing Sega
NHL
hockey.
'94, yeah. Another great movie that has a Sega hockey reference is Mallrats.
Yeah.
The beginning when he has the game pause.
Yep.
That's a great it's a great movie.
My friends and I lived on that game.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and my only issue with Blades of Steel for 8-bit Nintendo was what video game engineer decided that every time they pass the puck, it's gonna say make the pass. So like you could pass it like just make the pass. It's just every time they probably thought like this is gonna be an awesome idea. They're gonna love this, and then it turns to be the most annoying.
When it was like, you couldn't hit Jeremy Roenick.
Oh yeah.
It was like a flaw in the system.
Yeah,
it was like, so if you choose to be the Blackhawks, you're like,
you'll win.
Yeah.
End of story. So Joshua, before you get upstairs and get out there, where can we find is it joshuaradin.com? Is that where we can find it?
Or Facebook usually.
Okay.
Facebook/Joshua Radin.
Yeah. And who knows what obviously he's having a super successful music career, but in 20 years he might be like president or something. Who knows?
No,
who knows what you'll be next?
Maybe something more creative, I think. First of all, I don't think I could ever be president. I think there's probably things in my past that would come out.
Yeah, right.
But maybe architect, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Maybe go back to school. I don't know. I'd like to build some stuff.
All right.
Maybe
Nice.
carpenter.
Carpentry.
Architecture's probably a little.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little daunting.
Yeah.
Maybe I would like to be a carpenter.
There you go. Well, Joshua, thank you so much. Good luck today, and
Thanks,
we'll be
brother.
following you. And have fun in Philly.
See you guys.